There's any other story that you want to tell us, like how you get to work with Prince?
Later on, I mean, I've been freelance ever since the Rolling Stones thing, but I did work for a year for a studio called Advision. Advision had a truck, and so I started working on the truck, and Prince wanted to record in a location setting for his film Under the Cherry Moon. As we were in location, he was finishing off his record Parade, which was basically the soundtrack to Under the Cherry Moon, and we finished off overdubbing stuff on his album as well as finishing on the thing. When I started working on this truck and then got experience working on this truck, I got called because then the Stones said, you can work on trucks, we have a truck. And Ronnie Lane had a truck, so I did a lot of that, ended up leading on to doing a lot of live things. And in the end I did the Prince's Trust 10th anniversary concert with, I don't know, like Tina Turner, Paul McCartney, Level 42, and that apparently got a Grammy, although I haven't seen.
Whoa!
I haven't seen it. I haven't had it in my hand anyway.
In your opinion, who's the artist that like captured your attention and you think is the greatest? Who's your favorite artist and why?
But the Rolling Stones is always, since age 11, since the beginning, has always captured me. David Bowie, I think, has been my most influential. Apart from that, and Prince too. I mean, Prince. I went through a big, heavy. As soon as I worked with a guy, I realised what talent he had. I became a fan overnight. These are the stereo finish ones. There's a Rolling Stones one. These are mixes. These aren't the mixes that finished on the album. This is like an experimental mixes. Fall to Cry, Crazy Mama, Hot Stuff, Hey Negrita. And this is Tinta. I mean, this is like real tape.
What do you think is the most important thing when you produce an album?
From my point of view, I have to remain true to the band and the band's instincts and the band's genre, the band's that. So that's the first thing you have to do. I would never try to produce a hip-hop band. There's a certain sound, there's a certain thing that they want to get, which I'm probably not the guy to get for them. I would say I'm more Britpop or American guitar, bass pop, whatever, that sort of thing.
That's your characteristic as Barry Sage as a producer, right?
Yeah. I mean, you might get somebody that's even more specialised, an ex-Nirvana guy who specialises in that sound of that region, like that particular region. I know things instinctively, whether they're good or bad, but my upbringing was from working with English bands, because I've been trained as an English engineer. I mean, all the bands I've worked with over the years have been traditionally, either the Rolling Stones or even if you go into the pop mainstream, even if you think of Pet Shop Boys, so that there's an English sound. You stick it on a machine and you get one shot.
Whoa!
Not like a computer.
Yeah, you only get one chance, right?
Yeah.
If you blew it, you blew it.
Yeah, or you can go to another really take.
What happened that the Rolling Stone called Barry Sage to work with?
I get a message that my mother is trying to contact me, and she's contacted me because Chris Kimsey, the producer of the Rolling Stones, wants to talk to me about coming to Paris to help him on the Rolling Stones. And the reason I have contact with him, because in the studio I worked with before, the studio had a sort of sister studio, if you like, called Olympic. Yeah. Now Olympic and Basin Street were designed by the same designers. They had the same desk, the same EQ room, everything else. And so if Olympic was full, the engineers would phone up to that. And because I was starting to be an engineer on my own right, I was the most experienced. So I was assigned to these people as their assistant. Es como yo en 67, 68. Créditos de que pasa cada tema, según asistente, en engineer, no sé, como un outtake or either. When the whip comes down, the some goes como assistente. When documentación. So Chris Kimsey goes to France. They start the Rolling Stones full of pressure because Keith might go to jail any minute.
Yeah.
It was a new contract with EMI, so they were trying to record as much as they could in case he goes to jail, whatever, blah, blah, blah. They have that. So at the same time, Chris, they couldn't come to England to record because of tax purposes, so they're doing it in France. Unfortunately, you know, they went to EMI's studio in Paris, but unfortunately that they weren't supplied with an assistant that could speak sufficient English for Chris to just say, okay, record now, and the guys in record. You know, record, yeah, it goes through this scenario, and maybe Keith started the riff that might be the real riff to a classic like Tumbling Dice, or and so he didn't want to put himself under that pressure, so he remembered that all the relations we'd had before, so he called me to be his assistant. So after working on this company that had these trucks, we went to Spain a few times and recorded Orchestra Mondragon. It's like a festival type band, like a comedy band, and I just really started to enjoy, let's say, the Latin take on life, really. I mean, England's very serious. I mean, you get on the metro, nobody talks to you, nobody looks at you. As far as work goes, you're either extremely dedicated or ambitious. I realised that, you know, that there's this whole attitude that you can have a balance. You know, you can have like a career, you can have an ambition, but respect for your thing. So I started working in Spain. I did this record Esperanza Nada with Tito Davila for Nicole, which ended up again being successful. My first Chilean artist that I knew. And then after that, to come to Chile to record Solar. Their record was Play, which was their first record. And then subsequent records for UPA. And in 2009, 2010, I decided this place is so attractive to me. You know, I like the nature here. I like the people. I had friends here. I developed more friends here than I had in England, for example. And I thought, well, the hell, you know, it's great. I also was in a very long relationship for about 25 years with a girl. After a really big breakup, decided to go somewhere, and I wasn't really happy. I was working in post-production. I mean, quite good job in post-production, but it was under a lot of pressure, and I just wanted to change. I wanted to go back to this feeling I had with this Latin thing about balancing work, and so the idea was to come here, and I came here in 2013 under a contract with Clara Silva. I have a couple of companies with her that Pro Tools training. One of them is Pro Audiotech Chile, and Mappa Records is like a digital sello, if you like. And she has Studio Master, which gave me a good outlet to work in. So between all those three, I came here and was here 2 years and met Angela Cunha, who I've subsequently married and living with, and very happy not just to be in Chile, but to be with someone I love, and thankfully making really nice music with friends and meeting other things. And just from a classical background as well, so she's teaching me more folkloric things or more theatrical things, which is quite cool to me. It's nice.
That's it?
Yeah.
Nice. Thank you very much.
Hey, thank you very much, and thank you very much.
Good.
So Barry, Sage, see you later.